Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Beverly of Miles and Coffee, and I hope you'll join me today for a brief update on the questions from my viewers regarding TEFL certification, which is teachers teaching English as a foreign language. And there are people who have watched my previous video where I've talked about being in Mexico for 5 years and how I came here originally, pre-retirement, of course, as a TEFL teacher, face to face at one time, pre-pandemic, and then post-pandemic, or as the onset of pandemic and everything shut down, starting to teach online, which is what I'm currently doing. So also, I shared in that video that I at one time taught children, and now it's all professional adults who must maintain their proficiency in English to uh, maintain their job, to continue working because they are in contact with native English speakers. So, first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you for your comments on my previous video. I received many congratulations and well wishes from people from the States and from Mexico. So thank you so much. That is great. I do read my comments and I do respond. So I'm thankful for that. Thank you for liking the video. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your questions. So let's get started with these questions related to teaching English for those of you who are interested. Okay, I'll start with one viewer who asked for more information about transitioning from teaching children to teaching professionals. It's very easy, and I'm going to make this a simple explanation because I don't want this to be a long video. And if you have more questions pertaining to this, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But yeah, transitioning from teaching at one time, I taught using various contracts, and one was in China, and another one was not in China, but it was teaching almost like after school reading. That contract was with another online platform, and the jobs or the assignments came from, one was in California, another one was in Prince George's County, Maryland, and that was fun because it was just simply providing enrichment in reading and vocabulary for those learners who needed it, and those were native English speaking students who needed an English teacher, a reading teacher. My other children's contracts were out of China. I had 2 or 3 different contracts, I can't remember, that allowed me to teach in China. Okay, so once things shut down, I transitioned to another contract that needed to hire TEFL teachers who were proficient enough to teach adults. Now, how does that transition? With children, you're motivating and getting their confidence up. A lot of times these contracts might have pre-made lessons, which are great because that reduces your prep time, right? But for adults, it's a little bit different. The only transition is that you have to remember the focus is more on vocabulary and listening and correcting pronunciation, and adults want constant feedback. Okay, going back to the children, those contracts I had to do like a feedback form because the parents who paid for those lessons would look at the feedback to see how their students did. Sometimes you gave little incentives or little, each platform has a different reward system. But with adults, the transition is the feedback is in the moment as it happens, and directly at the end of the lesson. And many times I'll ask my students, how do you want your feedback? Do you wish that I would correct you right then or wait until the end? And almost 95% or more will say, correct me immediately. In other words, interrupt me when I make a mistake. I want to know that I mispronounced something. They pretty much want to know that you're listening. A lot of times I'll just listen and write. And if it's more reading of an article or a news event, I'll tell them, okay, this is for fluency. Read and don't worry about your mistake because I want you to relax and just read. Trust that I will underline so that you'll see where the mistake was, and I'll help you with pronunciation. And feel free to interrupt me at any time if you need help with the meaning of something in English or pronunciation. That is my teaching style, and it always was, even when I taught face-to-face in the States. I wanted my students to feel free to raise your hand, interrupt me. It helps me to deliver the content better, knowing that you have questions. And more specific questions help me to deliver better. Okay, but anyhow, so that's the transition, going from motivating young people and maybe reading a prepared lesson and being on time and being prepared, whereas transitioning to maybe a little bit more prep for adults. Sometimes the course might be included or the curriculum might be provided for you, but you still have to prepare for it, knowing your students and what they need, and sometimes even doing like an informal inventory. So that's the transition from children to adults, understanding that adults need feedback. They are proficient in their native language and in their particular job or profession, but what they need is support and vocabulary, and maybe vocabulary specific to a profession or to a topic. Okay, that's the transition from children to adults. Adults are professionals, but if they are learning English and becoming more proficient, it's more vocabulary driven, and that's what you're focusing on, grammar and vocabulary, to help them achieve their level of proficiency, because you want them to use the conventional standards of English as proficient as possible. I always tell students, it's never perfect. You will make mistakes, but you will learn from them, and trust that I am here to help you become more proficient, to reach your goals, and to increase your confidence. Okay, the second question was related to, is a TEFL a requirement for teaching professionals? I'm going to answer that by saying a resounding yes. A TEFL certification is required for all companies that are hiring teachers of English as a second language worldwide. That's the difference. Whether or not you have a degree in teaching is another thing. Some companies require a degree in teacher. I am a certified teacher in the United States, but in addition to that, to teach English as a second language or as a foreign language, right, worldwide, the TEFL is a requirement. And there are ways for you to do that. For more on how to get that done and how to get more information, I will leave my referral code to a wonderful program provided by the International Teachers Academy, ITA for short. And then my advisor's name was Liz De La Pena, and she is still working for ITA. I have referred many people to her who have been successful. And when you mention, just tell her Beverly sent you, okay? But they will help and listen to you and help guide you, okay? Which brings me to question number 3. Which platforms are hiring? I'm going to refer you back to your advisor wherever you took your certification. That should be part of the program or part of your postgraduate or as an alumni. These are benefits. That is another reason why I am an advocate for ITA. There are cheaper programs, but ITA promises and they deliver on their promises. Okay, one of their promises is to help you with job placement, which is correct, and even as an alumni, you have access if something happens and you're looking for another job. They can still advise you because you're an alumni, and that's part of what you paid for. So I'm going to refer you back to that. But if you should need more one-on-one help to answer specific questions, just leave a comment below, and you can go you can contact me via my email, which is Miles and Coffee, and then it's in my about information. And if you need a consultation, let me know, and we can do a one-on-one where maybe I can help listen to your questions and refer you on specific questions for your particular journey. But it's easy to get started. I'm going to start by just saying contact ITA, ask them questions. You can take a free webinar, and also download. They give you like a free package or a free little brochure to kind of help with frequently asked questions. Okay, so again, number one, transitioning from teaching children to professionals. Professionals just need guidance on making sure that they're using their grammar and vocabulary, and it's more career specific vocabulary, current event specific vocabulary, job related, career related vocabulary. Number two is TEFL required, yes, worldwide. Okay, but it gives you options worldwide. And then three, platforms that are hiring, go back and ask your questions wherever you received your certification, because they're supposed to give you guidance on that. Okay, I mean, worldwide, there are so many platforms that are hiring, because once you become a teacher of English online, you are in demand worldwide. So remember that, there's no problem finding a job. Okay, so I hope that has been helpful. Please leave a comment below, like the video. That's the best way to help my channel. Again, I want to thank you for listening, and maybe you'll have more questions. Let me know if I even thought about starting another channel just about all about TEFL, because I've helped so many people matriculate through the process and become successful getting their TEFL and going on to get a job. Okay, but if that's something that's of interest, maybe at a later date, I'll do that and make another channel. But for now, I hope that you will have a great day. I hope I have answered some of your questions, and we'll leave it there for right now. Continue to take it one day at a time, my friend. Until next time, on Miles and Coffee. Bye for now.